Hey guys, it's Rosie with Show and Tell Learning. It's our weekly coffee chat, and I'm actually without coffee today because I just sat down. I'm having some time to kind of relax because I had to go get my kids to ski school. I'm going to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I'm a little discombobulated today, but I'm glad you guys can hang out with me. So again, just apologize for the outside noise that you're going to be hearing. But if you have any questions, make sure you drop them below. I can see them, and if not, I'm also on my Facebook page, so I can hopefully catch them that way. I wanted to talk to you guys today about marketing. I just posted a blog about my 5 best marketing tips for photographers over on my main page, which is showandtelllearning.com. And I talk about a couple of things that you should not do at the very beginning of the blog that are really important for everybody to realize, especially if you're new into the industry. Now, number one thing that I say you should not do is having other people or businesses talk you into free shoots for exposure. Just don't do it. Don't do it. That just means they want you to work for free, and that's their way of trying to reel you in without having to pay you. And it makes you feel really bad if you don't do it. You really feel like you're missing an opportunity, but I'm telling you, there have not been very many opportunities that have actually panned out for many photographers for free shoots. So if you want to do a free shoot out of the goodness of your heart, make sure that you're doing it understanding that you need it for the practice and not for the exposure. Really, really important. Also, even if you're doing a free shoot, make sure you have everything contracted. You have to make sure that you have your rear end covered in case their model trips and falls, because they can come after you, which is terrifying. So make sure you have everything contracted. Make sure you have any terms and agreements understood before you ever take your camera out for a free shoot, which is what it is. No exposure is going to bring you the if someone wants to pay you, they need to pay you for your time. There's no such thing as good exposure if it's done free. If they really want to respect you, they're going to pay you for it, and they really should pay you for it. If you don't have a contract currently for portraits, for shoots like this, whether it's a time trade or anything like that, go over to the Law Talk. She has a lot of them, and she is totally helpful. She's a photographer who is a lawyer, and so she knows the terms of our industry to make sure that you are protected in case of anything happening during a free shoot or an exposure shoot, as we talk about it. Mass marketing is the next thing I talk about. When I first started, I decided that it'd be a great idea to put out a blanket advertisement to everybody in the school district that I worked for, because that I was living in, and I was working with high school seniors. I didn't get any business from it. I spent a lot of money, and I didn't get any business from it. The reality is I didn't think that every person is not to be my client. I should have spent my time really focusing on exactly who I wanted to have as my client and put my energy and time into that. What I did instead, after a year of wasting my money on this marketing for the district, because I was locked into a contract, I instead thought, I don't want everybody as my client. I don't want everybody who thinks I'm going to be cheap or easy to book at last minute or doesn't respect my time. So I started working with a boutique who had a similar demographic as mine. Even though she wasn't targeting 18-year-olds necessarily, she was targeting a certain economic demographic, and she often had the mothers of those high school seniors that I was targeting coming into her shop. So I started co-marketing with her, and that was a much smarter way to do it, because I was working smarter, not harder. And by having a good rapport with another business, I was helping to build up that know, like, and trust factor, instead of just throwing my name out there and a phone number and hoping I was going to catch people with the wide net I was throwing. It's almost like putting up a billboard. Unless you're someone who is like a McDonald's and you can afford to have everybody be your client, with photography it's a little different. So make sure that when you're marketing, you're really strategic as to who you're marketing to. All right, so we're going to go into talking about what I do think is fantastic with your marketing, and that is having, one, a well thought out marketing plan. Now, for anybody who is a self-employed solopreneur, this might be like nails on a chalkboard for you, but it does work. If you sit there and you go through your calendar, I have my notebook, I hope, my long road trip I had this morning. I just carry around my big old notebook, and I write down my ideas for marketing throughout the year so that I can plan, okay, I'm going to do Mother's Day minis, or I'm going to do Valentine's minis. I can't be planning and putting my information out there a month ahead of time because I should have already had clients by then. Let me actually sit there and market a month and a half, 2 months out, so that way that I have my clients booked, I have their deposits paid or their session fee paid, however you want to do it, and then I can go ahead and really plan a well thought out set or a prop or a location, and I can do it really well. And then next year, I can go through and just follow the same processes over and over again so that I can make sure I'm profitable. A marketing plan is a plan. It's just like a business plan. It's a structure that you need to follow in order to be successful. So if you have a well thought out marketing plan, it takes all the stress off of having to hustle for money last minute all the time. It is so worth it, and you can just, again, I go into my Google Calendar and I just kind of pre-market everything out, and it also helps with communicating with my husband because he knows that I have certain big events coming up so that he's not planning to go out hunting or out of town or whatever he does that can come up, and then that'll cause a problem between us. So it just keeps the communication on the up and up. It helps with understanding what I need to do for a business to stay profitable, and it just helps my stress level tremendously. Giving instead of taking. This is something that a lot of photographers don't even think about because they think they are giving to their clients, but the reality is that if you have a brand new person coming and checking out your Facebook page or your website, they might see pretty images of their friends, but what is going to keep them there? On my website now, I have on reflectionsbyrosie.com, which is my portrait side. When people come into my website, I realize that they're looking for me as a high-end photographer, so they want to be able to have time to plan, but they don't know how to plan all the time. They just are busy and they want beautiful portraits, but they don't want to be stressed out. So I actually put together a free checklist for them to opt into so I can actually capture their email addresses, give them something free, and then I can keep communication with them throughout the time that I work with them, and after I can send them newsletters until they opt out or if they decide to keep on in order to help do that. But it just keeps me on the forefront of their mind. So consider having your site go from a taking site where you're just asking people to book you to really being a giving site where you can help people have a better experience with you from the time they book you to beyond. And then I want you to think about what and how your clients buy. So when you're marketing to your clients, if your clients are only interested in shoot and burn stuff, then that's fine. Just do shoot and burn stuff. Just sell digitals. But if your clients are like mine, my clients want beautiful products. They want to be able to justify what they spent on me. So I want them to have beautiful products they can show their friends, their clients sometimes, but their friends in return. So I really work on having really heavy, gorgeous albums. I personally love Red Tree, so that when they hand their albums over to their friends, they get that same feeling that they got when they first worked with me and they felt that album for the first time, and they can envision having their own portraits and their images put in there done by me. Just think about that. When you have your clients, really sit down, talk to them. My best way to suggest doing this is to actually take them out to lunch or coffee and ask them. Say, what do you need? Do you just want me to do your Christmas cards? Or do you want me to be able to have beautiful wall art for your home? Do you want canvases? Do you want albums? Let them tell you what they want, so that way when you are showing them the products that you offer, you are custom tailoring it to exactly what your clients want. It saves time, it saves so much energy, and it just puts you right in their hands from the very beginning, so that they'll be happy to book you time and time and time again, and they'll tell their friends all about you as well. So be super excited. Social media should be used, and this is my fourth point here, social media should be used as pepper to your marketing. It should not be your main point of marketing. If you want to be able to really talk to your clients, I say direct them to your website, direct them to your blog, where they can really get to know you better. I want your social media to be a nice way to accent what you have on your website and on your blog. So do things like Facebook Live. I mentioned before last week, maybe do behind the scenes videos of you having fun with your clients during their session with them. Offer them tutorials, kind of like what I'm doing with you, but client specific. On your Facebook Live site, just be you, be authentic. I'm coming to you with like no makeup on, I've been up since 5 o'clock in the morning, heck, I didn't even have my coffee yet. But it's me. You know exactly how I am when you meet me in person, is exactly how you see me right now with my Air Force shirt on right now. But I am just hanging out, and that's how you want people to be able to have you. That being said, if you really are going after a higher end clientele, maybe try not to be in t-shirts and jeans and things like that. Maybe think about dressing up a little bit. That way you can talk to them, but still be you. You want to be able to be that person that they are attracted to, so they can book you and they can work with you and they can tell about you all to their friends. So consider that. SEO. So my last point here. I think so many of us think SEO should be the first thing that we think about with our industry and with our blogs and with our websites. And yes, it is totally important. But if you don't know what you're doing, I suggest just starting. You can use things like, I use Squarespace for my website. There's Wix, there's a lot of different other websites that are actually really SEO friendly. WordPress, I actually had a really kind of weird experience with WordPress personally, but I will say that if you get to put your stuff out there and use your words, speak in your own language, and have it be consistent with how they are when they meet you, it'll really help with your rankings, and it'll give people a place to go to where they can contact you, not just on Facebook. And Facebook is weird, just again, it's a free platform, but it's not really free anymore. If you need to have your own business page, if you're posting a certain amount of times, you really should not. It's a mess. The algorithms are changing, so just make sure you don't have that be your main point of marketing. Have everybody redirected to your website. Encourage them to put them to your website. Even whenever you post a blog, make sure you link to your Facebook page, and that way they can go back to your blog and they can start getting to know what you're like from the behind-the-scenes perspective, from all the different images that you have. They're not just seeing the one image that you're posting from your sneak or whatever you want to do, or your end of session favorite image, but they get to see what it looks like when they have a full session with you, and they can kind of walk themselves through what it would be like to have an experience with you. If you do not know SEO, there are a lot of people who can explain it to you. My friend Natalie over at Moxie Tonic, I actually have a link in that blog post. She's fantastic. She's a personal friend of mine. I'm not an affiliate. This is no financial gain for me. I just really like her, and I like how she explains SEO. She's helped me a lot. She is fantastic at explaining it. She's way better than someone like I could be, but there are plenty of people who are fantastic at explaining SEO in the photography industry even. So if you want to see my friend, you can go to my blog at www.showandtelllearning.com. It's the most recent one, but you can click on the link. But just, you can ask if there are people in your photography groups who are fantastic at SEO, who can explain it to you, who can explain how to alt tag your images, who can explain how to do all these different things that'll help with legitimately helping your rank up on Google or on Bing or whatever, how people find you so that they can find you easier. It is a constantly changing thing with SEO again. You want to make sure you do it right. I didn't realize there's something called white hat and black hat. You want to make sure you're what's called white hat, which means you're legit and you're doing it the clean way on how to have fair rankings. Otherwise, Google what's called blacklist you, and then your business will tank. So make sure you stick with the good strategies. Make sure you get a reputable strategist who can help you out, and someone who really knows how to help you get underneath the hood of your website, who can explain it in a way that makes sense, so that when you are increasing your SEO rankings, you're doing it the right way. All right, so that is my long-winded explanation. Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to pop over to my Facebook page here. Okay. I see you, Rainey. There said you're coming with skis. I'd love to see you here. I'd love to have a friend to hang out with today. I have a bad knee, so actually my friend Trish saw me take my epic fall last year out in front of my house. That was amazing and embarrassing and messed my knee up. So I'm afraid to get on skis, and I was told that I really shouldn't. So when my family goes skiing, I kind of hang out here in the lodge after just towing on the ski gear and all that stuff. But it's fun. It's a fun way to be able to spend the day. I love how much my kids enjoy it. Let me see. And I apologize again for hopping on here late today. It's just been one of those days. It just took longer to get the kids into ski school than I had hoped, because it is always a kind of a cluster to get them in. Okay, where am I? I am in Copper Mountain. So I just still can't believe they have Copper Mountain and Cooper Mountain literally next to each other. But we made it to the right place. So we're in Copper Mountain right now. Have you been up here before, Rainey? Oh. Are people watching me do this? Yeah, they are. I don't care. Maybe they're photographers. Maybe they're going to learn. Yeah, but I have no shame. I just want to make sure I could pop up here and help you guys out today. So, hey, I wanted to tell you guys too, I'm going to be having a webinar next week with Brooke. She actually runs, she's the owner of Brooke Summer Photography, but she also runs Business Straight Up. And we're going to be doing a webinar next week, next Thursday, on in-person selling, and we'll talk about virtual in-person selling. And Remy reminded me of that. So we can talk about the different approaches. She has a slightly different approach than what I do, but we're coming up with some amazing ideas on how to explain it to you guys so that people who are looking at doing IPS or in-person selling can finally take the leap, and we'll do it. So make sure we're going to start launching some Facebook ads, but I'll send it out to my email list, and I know Brooke will as well. So make sure you all sign up. It'll be free, and just check it out. It'll be fun. We're fun girls. Fun girls. I'm just hanging out in the ski lodge talking to myself, it looks like. But hey, I'm fun. Okay. Anybody else have any? Okay, awesome. I'm excited to see you, Remy. Perfect. Okay, well, I am going to, let me see. Any other questions? I see one come up. Nope. Do you have any questions for me today, Remy?
Do they allow you to just park your stuff?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Didn't want to have somebody take it on me.
You're fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys. Well, I will see you next week. Normal schedule. And yeah, thank you. It's good seeing you too, Remy. And anybody else who's watching this, I'm going to upload this to YouTube, and then I will repost it and resend it out to the email list so that way you guys can catch it if you haven't been able to catch it live. I'll also put it in my Facebook group, and you guys can watch it that way. So, all right, we'll see y'all later. Have a good day. Bye.